Today I'm going to show you how to do bullion knot, stem stitch, and again we'll repeat the lazy daisy. So for this little design, it's a heart shape. If anybody does want the design, please message me and I can drop it into their messenger box. I've used Anchor 112, Anchor 108 and Anchor 213. Now you can get them online obviously, but you can get them at Tina's. So let's start, shall we? So I have done exactly as I have done before. I've transferred my design to my fabric, and then I've put it in a hoop that's covered in either binding or just torn strips of calico. So so that you could see the design, I've done a sheaf of lavender in the middle, and it's going to have a bow, and then I've done some curved stem stitch with the light colour lavender and the leaves as lazy daisy stitch. So I'll start off showing you, I haven't marked on here where I'm going to do the bullion knots because that's what we're going to do first. What I have done is I'm just filling it. So when you fill it, if you start with a top one and then just fill it all the way down. These are just very long straight stitches going down into a sheaf, and then I'm going to do a satin stitch bow across here, which I will teach you in another lesson. So again, I've measured out my fabric. It's probably about 8 or 9 inches square. It has a backing on the back. So we'll start. So with your Anchor 112, 2 strands, I'm going to turn it around because that's easier to work the bullion stitch. So it's not unlike your French knot, but it's a long stitch. So you're going to come up a little way away from the edge of where your stem has finished. So bring your thread up, keep your thread to the left at the top, go in and come out. So you're going in at the stem and coming out where you started off, but you don't pull your needle through because we're going to wind this thread 7 times. Now I have to turn it to do this, and to do this I put my thumb underneath the needle and I start winding from underneath. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I push the needle through, keeping those twists on there, and you will see it looks a bit untidy, but as you pull gently and you straighten them out with your thumbnail, then you take your thread through to the back. And that, ladies, is your first bullion. So I'm going to do an angled one now from here to here. So I will bring my needle up from the bottom. I will go back in at the stem, come back up with my thread still at the top, and I'm going to put my thumb underneath and wind it around the needle 7 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. While you're still holding that thread with this thumb, push it through. Still hold those very lightly. You don't need to hold it tight. And then you're bringing it back. And you can see it all looks a bit of a muddle to start with, but just tease them down before you can do it with your needle, and then go back in. So I'll do the bullion stitch one more time. So I'm going to turn it because I need to get the angle right, and you will have to do the same for you on whichever way is more comfortable. So bring your thread up a little way away from where you want it to start. Put your needle in at the stem, come back out, Bring your thread round with your thumb underneath to hold that needle up and wind it round 7 times. So that's 7. Push your needle through. Just holding it. Now that one looks a real mess, so this is a good thing to show you they're not gone wrong. So just gently pull. Can you see how I'm teasing it down? And then I'm going to pop my needle back in to the underside. So there you have bullion. Now these are all bullion. If you want to make them longer, you do more wraps. If you want to make them finer, you do just 1 thread, not 2. I've got 2 on this. If you want to make them thicker, 3 or 4 threads. But I will continue this in 2. So that's your first stitch. So I'll move that out the way, and then I'll show you on this side we'll do a stem stitch. So we will start at the bottom, and I'm using the green, which is 213, anchor 213. So bring up your thread, keep your thread at the bottom. You're going to put your needle in on below and come up just a bit towards the back. It's a bit like back stitch, but not quite. So you're putting it in on the bottom, and then when you come up, you're coming up on the top, so you're going back. This will create quite a nice curve for you. So in on the bottom side, come up on the top. So in on the bottom side, come up at the top. And you're going back to just where the stitch started, or ended, should I say. So come up on the bottom, go up on the top. And you can see that creates a good curve. Probably be better now we haven't got any leaves in the way. So go in at the bottom, up on the top. In at the bottom, go up on the top. In at the bottom and up above the line. And again, two strands I've done. So in at the bottom, up on the top. There you go. So that's that. We would go all the way up to top, and you do need to put your middle finger underneath, because if you don't, you can't figure out where your thread's going to come. And you can do these any size. You might want to do quite small ones, you might want to do quite big ones. But it gives, if you look, it gives a nice thick stem. And lavender does have quite a thickish sort of stem, really. So I will just go to the top, then I'll go back over your lazy daisy stitch for your leaves. Now you can see I've got the line of the heart around the outside. Well, that's just where I want the heart to be, because this is going to become a lavender heart, so I'm actually going to put lavender in it. So that's to the top. So I'll turn it over, pull out the thread a little bit more, and to finish it off, I'll just wind my thread around and snip it off. So I will, to do the leaves again, 2 strands, and as I've said before, cut at the thread end and then thread. Straighten your threads out. So I've marked a few on this pattern, just a few. So I'll start at the bottom. So you're going to start at the stem, bring it round to the left, go in up to the end, create your little circle and put your needle in to hold the stitch down, and then go up to the next one. And you could make these a little bit denser if you want, because the leaves on lavender bushes are quite dense. But I'm just doing this for design purposes, really. So that's there. So that's going back over your lazy day stitch. Now I'll just show you how to do, I'll leave that tail there. I'll show you how to do your bow in the centre, and that's a bit, you can either do an outline stitch, which would be a back stitch, or if you want to, you could do a, we'll do a lilac one, a satin stitch, which is filling that space with lots of stitches to look like a piece of satin. I think that's how they refer to it. So while I'm off camera, I'm still talking, I'm sorry, but I'm just snipping my thread. So I've drawn the outline. So what I should probably do is do the if you like, the ears of the bow, the lighter lavender, and then do the centre of the bow, this bit here. I should do it this dark purpley colour, so that's 112. So this one I'm going to use now is 108. So I'm going to keep my tails out of the way. So I'm going to start here, just on the edge, not quite in the middle. I'm going to pull through. I can feel that I've got probably about 2 inches tail, and then I'm going to come down on the edge, and then probably just one strand up. Get that a bit closer so you can see. And I'm going to fill this with stitches. So one strand down, and you can see how quickly that's starting to take shape. And one strand down. And again, this is actually quite a nice therapeutic thing to do. It's helping you visualize what it's going to look like. So can you see now how it's taking the shape of the bow, but you're actually filling the space with long stitches. Looks like satin. You can do long and short stitch, but I thought for this we'd just keep it simple. So there we are. So that is your lavender heart. So as I said, if you just want me to draw out, want a drawn out pattern for you to trace, then please contact me and I'll whack you over a pattern. Thank you for watching. I hope you're enjoying these series. If you want anything else, do let me know, and I'll try and see what I can pop onto the video for you. Thanks again. Bye for now.